Over the span of a few days, information has been made available to me to open the music industry up and stick my head in some shit that I know they don't want it in. Only until the last 5 to 10 years has there been gray area for acceptable and unacceptable snitching. Cornelius Beats being the last culprit live on camera in an interrogation room. Bad enough, but what if I told you that it went all the way into the courtroom this time?
If somebody broke into my house, I would go grab a gun and start shooting first before I called the police.
The code of the street is that you don't call the police because you sell it yourself.
Unwritten but understood as a second system of law to all inner cities, but I don't believe the snitching rule should apply to civilians, not in all cases, if they're incapable of an eye for an eye, and concretely if you're a hood boss.
You know, my name Hoody, baby, aka 2 Mercedes, Hood, you know what I'm saying, hood boss. You know, I'm from Dallas, I got like 4 record deals. I just do my thing, you know what I'm saying, I just get to it, man, so if you don't know who I am, you're gonna know who I am, or just do your research on me.
This appeal filed for Christopher James Spain, the appellate to the 2nd District of Texas, will be in the description box for your own personal use or records. Now for a rundown, this was filed to petition the courts to review the case of James Spain, sentenced to 15 years confinement for assault with a deadly weapon. In short, his defense wanted to imply that Omalolu Akinlolu had enemies that weren't limited to Lil Spain, and he didn't have an adequate window to cross-examine this, or something close to that. Now read along with me. At approximately 7:25 p.m. on the evening of September 18, 2008, Arlington police officers were dispatched to the scene of a shooting. When they arrived about 5 minutes after receiving the dispatch, the complainant, Omalolu Akinlolu, was lying face down on the ground, bleeding heavily. The police saw several holes in Omar's back, shoulder, and legs, as well as 16 shell casings lying nearby in the street. No gun was found at the scene. At the scene, Omar appeared to be scared and in pain. Omar told the police that he knew who had shot him, but closed his eyes and started fading out before he could identify the shooter. He's later transported to John Peter Smith in Fort Worth, where he's treated. None of the bullet wounds were life-threatening. Police testified that after he was stabilized, Omar told them that he had been walking, jogging, or running in his neighborhood listening to music. His cell phone rang. As he attempted to answer the phone, shots rang out. Omar ultimately told the police that appellant Dwayne James and Andrew were responsible for the shooting, and that he had seen James and appellant shooting at him. Omar told the police that he had been shot several times and had fallen down. After he fell, he saw the men leave the scene in a silver-colored SUV. The police learned that all 4 men were associated with the record company. Omar told them that he had written a song for the appellate and but they still owed him money for it. Omar testified that the shooting caused him pain and that appellant and James had placed him in fear and threatened him with imminent bodily injury. Omar identified both James and appellant as the shooters in pretrial photo lineups, and he also identified them both in court.
So, with being on the road, man, ain't it a different feel, man, than being, because we know you've been gone for years, but ain't it a different feel, man, than not being in Dallas, in Texas at all?
Oh yeah, you know, that's a blessing, because at one point, I wanted to be like the hottest nigga in Dallas. I wanted to be the biggest shit in Dallas. I wanted to be the biggest shit in my section. Then I started moving around, and I was like, you know, I want to be the biggest shit in Texas. Then I moved to Atlanta, and I said, you know, I want to be the biggest shit in Georgia. So really, a lot of shit amazes me, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we set our apex, our highest level.
Oh, you left one thing out of there, hood boss. Would the code of the street be embedded in an individual with hood connected to his name? Or did you call yourself a hood boss because it gives off the stereotype you're about that life? When we know you never were, and that's why you privatized your Instagram, right? Because of me, Nino, and Spain, a lot of the industry is starting to ask questions.
And I just got my artist deal with Young Money like 2 years ago. So my first deal was with Warner Chappell as a writer. Then I got my deal with Young Money as an artist, and I have a label called OHB with Chris Brown, and I got like 10 other artists signed to me and producers and shit. So I'm working.
most damaging are his associations. Now ask yourself, have unsuspecting things happened? Maybe a media storm, police intervention, a RICO case? See that chain he's wearing? What a coincidence. In one of the biggest RICO indictments brought to the public with 28 individuals named in it, whose name is off that list, to whom has been around Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, Soulja Boy, and Thug as well, all under some type of investigation.
I keep in contact with all my niggas. Niggas that fuck with me, niggas know. If you know my mama name, I keep in contact with you.
Keeping in contact with the likes of Devarius, right? Since you're the man that got Trap Boy Diddy his deal at 300, home of Thug, Hood Boss, aka Hoody Baby, next to Lil Duke here, one of those named in the indictment, but I don't see yours, Omalolu Akinlolu. Do you believe a person that would take the stand and give information to the local authorities wouldn't do it again? And they know you've cooperated before. They're gonna see you as a slam dunk in any case, because they know you'll talk. Georgia might know that too. If you ask me, how long was he around YSL and what did he see? Yeah, so a motherfucker that move around this much, from Dallas to Louisiana to California to Atlanta, you might want to look into their past a little bit, because they might be running from it before it catches up to them.
Man, you know what I'm saying? You know I didn't come here for nothing, man. It's some shit up out here, some motherfucking snitch shit going on, man.
Yeah.
It's going on, man. Huh?
This the place to get her down?
Is it?
I don't want to get trouble.
Ooh, you gonna get trouble.
Nah, I'm gonna pause the
Are you
law.
tripping? Are you
I won't have no pause that. I'm trying to say
Okay, so what's this? You brought it up, so we gotta finish
What's going on,
it.
man?
Man, hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, man.
We got 5
Let's
minutes.
get a quote.
Hold up.
Hey, we-
Choco dropped that beat to make you beat a nigga. They asked me where I been. They ain't seen a nigga. And what about Compton Banks? He wanna be a nigga. If he had eyes like a fly, he couldn't see me, nigga. Lil Wayne running with a snitch, nigga. I wish Big to die, bro, when Spain hit him. Ask Lil Twist, we some straight killers. Tell Breezy try to play me like I'm Drake, nigga.